Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about modulation in our second lesson for this unit. Modulation, as you probably already know, is moving from one key to another. The specific definition here is the movement. Is the term musicians use for changing key in a piece of music. The most obvious modulations occur when there is a double bar line and an actual printed change of key. So here it's you can't deny that we have changed keys. They give you a double bar line, they change the key signature explicitly for you, and you know that we're in a new key. Not only because the key signature has changed, but you can see that we're favoring a lot of the original tonics of C here in the first part, and when we modulate, we move to these new D tonics. I'll just play this short melody for you so you can get a sense of how this sounds. And repeat. And second ending, here we go. So not only do your ears tell you that, oh, it sounds like D is our new tonic, but it just makes it blatantly obvious. It's almost like dummy proof. You can't not say that we've changed key signatures because it's printed on the actual page. Now, it's not always that easy, that obvious. Sometimes composers will, instead of changing outright a key, from moving from one key to another, they like to hint at other key signatures. And this is partly the reason why we have accidentals in music, is to not trick, but make our audience feel like we've shifted to a new key signature when we haven't really. We're just sort of temporarily resting on a new key. Now the example here, as you can see, is quite involved. And it is a great skill to have, to be able to notice a change in key or a temporary change in key. Sometimes we use the term tonicize. We tonicize a new key. Even though it's not explicitly printed in the music, the accidentals and what's happening in the music make it look like we're moving into a new key signature. Now, to just look at the music here, I'll play a recording for you. I'm not going to perform it for you because I'd have to practice far too long to make this sound decent, as you can see with all the 16th notes. But just to look at this music, and quick little analyzing with you. So we're starting in C major. Well, it tells you here, it starts in C major, modulated to G by the end of the example. So we're starting in C, we're going up a C major, notice we're arpeggiating C major, C, G's and E's. Okay, then a G, what we call a G7 chord, not to worry, we'll talk about it later. But we're staying in C, a 1 chord, a 5 chord, a 1 chord, a 4 chord here. Okay, so we're very obviously in C major, no sharps or flats, no accidentals. We actually have no accidentals through this whole little run up of, they're just running up and down the scale of C major. We have an odd looking C sharp here, which doesn't really serve much of a purpose except to sort of start shifting our ears. Okay, because you'll notice right after that, in the next bar, we go back to C natural. So the Mozart is basically trying to get us ready for an audible shift in tonality. All right. Once we get towards the end here, this is our culprit right here. This F sharp is going to make the G chord sound like a new home bass, because this F sharp is going to act like scale degree 7 of our new key of G major. You know that G major has 1 sharp in it, F sharp, and so often what composers will do is use the leading tone, that scale degree 7 of a new key, to make it sound like we've actually shifted into that key. So what I'm going to do is play the recording for you so you can hear how it sounds, and I'll play it for you at regular speed and then slow speed, a slightly slower tempo. Okay, now just to give you an idea, here's C. Turn the volume up a little bit. That should sound very nice and natural and home bass, like it's done. If I were to play a G chord, that probably doesn't sound very stable because I've oriented your ears to C. But if I improvise something and start using F sharps, hopefully that last chord to your ears sounded pretty stable. It sounded like, oh, there's the end of the song. But in fact, that last chord was a G chord. It's the same chord you heard before that didn't sound so stable. But because I preempted with that F sharp, this F sharp right here, it makes your ears think, ah, this is a new place of rest. So we're going to pull up the recording right now. Now what I'm going to try to do is move the music a little bit up and move the recording down. You don't need to see the video, it's just the guy playing. So here we go. Okay. So hopefully by the time we got to the end of this printed music here, right here, this G, all this G's sounded like a pretty stable ending. What I'd like to do is play it back for you one more time at a slightly slower speed. I'm gonna find, where is it? Speed, normal, 0.75. I'll play it for you again, so hopefully you can, and I want you to really pay close attention as we get into this third last bar. This G is F sharp leading to a G arpeggio, okay? We're just basically thumping away G, C, G, C, G. And here, notice G, the fifth of a G chord, a full G chord here, and then two G's in octaves. So this should really start to sound final to your ears. All right, let's go back into the recording, go back to the top, and listen carefully to that sounding of a G chord to sound like the end. Here we go. Just playing around in C major. Now we start moving chromatically. Here we go. All right. So there's the example in terms of what it should sound like to your ears. Hopefully that worked in terms of making you feel like G was a good resting point. And they do that, of course, with the use of chromatics and without necessarily writing a key signature change. Okay, let's move on to the next page where we have a few examples. So since the title of this page is Finding Modulations, and you can see each of the questions says, this example starts in a certain key and modulates to another key. You have to find the original and discover where it's hinting at in terms of a new key. More often than not, the giveaway is some kind of chromatic note. All right, some kind of chromaticism that leads us into a new spot, into a new thing. And don't necessarily think of just major keys. You have to use all the clues in the music to figure out, am I in a major key or am I in the minor key? The first example, for example, you see no sharps or flats, so your brain might instinctively go to C major, but you also have to consider that you might be in A minor. Okay, and you need to use the clues that you see in here in the music to figure that out. Often music will lean on the tonic. The music will start on a tonic and or end on a tonic. So use all the clues. What I'm going to do is play these examples for you, so you can hopefully help lead you, if not visually, the sound of the music might help you figure out, oh, it sounds like we're moving to this key. So here we go. First example, 8 bars of music. can play it back, obviously, over and over if you want. The second one. No, I should. I guess I should have practiced this before I started recording. But let's see how it goes. I obviously don't want to tell you what key we're starting in. Hopefully, with the key signature there, you can see what it is. And with the recording itself, it'll help you figure out what key we are actually in, major or minor, and where we're moving to. Here we go. Second example. Okay, that went pretty good. Better than I thought I would. Okay, the next one. We see 6/8 time. Ooh, my goodness. We see the same key signature as the previous example. We see two sharps. Okay, be careful. This A sharp here just applies to the one note. It's not part of the key signature, as I'm sure you can easily figure out. But we have two sharps in the key signature. We're in 6/8 time, and let's have a listen. All right. So, not too bad. A nice, fun little 6/8 melody. And then finally at the bottom, we have an example using one flat. So hopefully that's ringing a bell for you in terms of what major or minor key we're likely starting in. Yeah, so 3/4 time, here we go. So there you go. There are the recordings for all those exercises where we do modulate from one key to another. For all these exercises, they're not explicitly writing the new key signature, of course. You have to find them. Also be aware that sometimes we're not necessarily changing from one key signature to another, but we may, in fact, it's possible that you modulate from a major key to its relative minor key. That's even a possibility. All right, so use all the accidentals in the examples here to help guide you. Some sharps or flats or whatever that are in here may help you to discover the new key signature. Some accidentals in here may not be hinting at a new key signature, but serve as the raised seventh of the harmonic minor mode of whatever minor key signature you're working in. So be aware of that, please. Just because you see a sharp sign somewhere doesn't mean, oh, this is where we're changing keys. Sometimes it serves as the raised seventh of a minor scale. So keep that in mind. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right? Enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll take it up before we do a theory test on this. Have a good day, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.